Trust in AI is widely discussed, but what actually determines whether people trust or a system or not? What do you think?
Yeah, so one finding was that trust is not really based on how accurate the system is. So independent on what the factual correctness of the system is, it can still be rejected by customers. So you need to do something on top. So not just present the facts, but also present it in a way that it generates trust with you as a user as well. And this really is about how it's communicated. Does it feel fair? Do I feel something is accountable for the system? So do I feel as a user of the system that it is really engaging with me as well? And there have been studies that I think Deloitte found companies that actively build trust into the AI systems, who actively take measures to improve trust, are 66% more likely to achieve the benefits that they were expecting.
Okay, how does this play out in practice, and where do you typically see gaps between a perception and the reality? What's the difference? What's the gap?
So, I mean, we all can see a lot of examples right now, right? So hiring is an example, and I think there are specific challenges around the recruiting market where, and I have an example in my keynote where they were trying to build a more fair employee recruiting program as well, increase diversity, but still there were, because we have biases in our human processes, we have biases in the human brains and minds and culture, and this is getting transported as well. So there are a lot of the areas which really can get affected by this perception gap. Recruiting is one. We already talked, I think, about insurance companies. So what is the premium that I'm supposed to pay for my insurance company? So that is determined by AI. Will I trust that? Do I get a certain medical treatment? Will that get covered by my health insurance? And all of these different things. So that we can really see that what I'm trying to emphasize is that let's take the insurance coverage question, right? It can be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
It can be 100% based on actual policy or actual risk. But still, if I'm not able to understand the decision making, if I'm not able to understand or trust that there is at least a human review maybe of the system, if I'm not able to understand or trust the result of that's really then diminishing my acceptance of such a system. And if people don't accept the system, then where does the benefit come from, right? So all of your investment in these AI systems really depend on, is my counterpart accepting the system or not?
Like you describe trust as a negotiation. What does that mean in practical terms?
What I mean by negotiation is that trust is nothing that I can build in a system like I can implement a piece of software as well. It is an exchange, right? So you exchange positions as well. And we all have seen this. So, I mean, one part how this negotiation manifests itself is regulation, obviously. Right? So this is a written down result of a negotiation, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what is legal and what is not legal as well. So this is a really touchable, tangible result of that negotiation. But also the way that we use this system. So we might be skeptical in a way, and but we will hear somebody who has had some experience, so we will try it out. And so this try and error is a constant mechanism that we need to factor in when we build trust into systems. So we can't expect users to just right away, okay, great, there's an AI system, let's just use it as well. So it will take some time and people will need to try it out, make some positive experiences, understand the limitations as well. So I think this is really important. For that, also the third element that is something that is not a given, that is constantly changing, is AI literacy. So I think like 5 years ago, nobody had a clue about what is a large language model, for instance.
Yeah, yes,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
So it really went fast, and now you can talk to almost anybody on the street, and they will at least have an idea. So we need to have a mental model in a way how AI works, at least so we can work with that. So really having that at least fundamental understanding on how AI works, I think this is really important. Also, what is acceptable behavior and not? So you will probably have a debate about, can I write my email with AI or not? Is that acceptable or is it not, right?
Yeah.
So this is not a new phenomenon, right? So I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember when mobile phones came on the market. So it was totally strange for people having a private conversation on the phone in the middle of the street. So now it's perfectly normal. So so the point is that this is not something that is static, that is constantly in motion, constantly changing, and is constantly negotiated within the players, within our society as well. And a main driver for that is risk versus value. So we all have discussed about accidents coming from self-driving cars, for instance, and there was some dramatic and very sad accidents that happened as well. But the reality is that people die in traffic accidents every day, right?
Yes.
So is it? It's really sad. So what is the risk that we are accepting versus the value that we're getting out of that? So that's, again, it's not constant. It will change constantly. And this is a negotiation that we need to shape. I'm calling this a negotiation because there are different players apart, and we need to talk to each other and calibrate what is acceptable, what do we want to do all the time. And the last part that makes the difference is who does benefit from that. Yeah. So, and we already talked about customer service. Is my main benefit is I can lay off a couple of thousand people, save some money. It's a benefit for whom, right? For the shareholders, maybe not for the employees, maybe not for the customers as well, right? So an important element in this negotiation, who is gaining what benefit? So, and all of these elements are entangled and they are in change constantly and constantly in negotiation.
Yeah. So, like as you are working in this sector around 15 years now, so where do organizations most commonly go wrong when trying to build trust in AI?
I would say that the main thing is that organizations often treat these soft factors like trust as like a compliance output, but not a design input. So they develop the system and then test what is the behavior, how do people utilize my system, do they trust the system, is it accepted as well, right? And not factor it in the beginning when designing the systems. So this concept of trust being an afterthought, okay, let's develop first and then check, do they actually use it or not? I think this is really the first fundamental mistake. So specifically with AI, where the outcome is much less deterministic, you need to really think about how does the platform, the AI system that I implement, affect my relationship with the parties that are supposed to use it. And relationship with parties that use it, this is what I mean with trust, right? So, and governance is another important element where companies struggle a lot right now. So because also I can understand, because technology is evolving so fast and new platforms, new tools and technologies coming up all the time, everybody wants to get in on the action and try out, or others may even block access to some of these tools as well. So really putting a governance structure in place that can channel this energy and this excitement and this potential to really drive benefit for the organization. I think this is a key struggle. So, and it must not be too rigid, because I do not want to cut off this innovation, and it cannot be too loose, because I do not want to create too much risk or create too much damage. So really finding the right balance in finding governance structures that enables innovation and channels this into really value generation as well. A third element is, are stakeholders involved early enough? So, and this is not a new phenomenon. I've been in many IT projects where main stakeholders were not involved early in the process, but I think with AI systems it's even more important that all of the stakeholders that we already talked about are made a part of my initiatives as well. And the last part really is around explainability, I would call it, meaning if we build just black boxes which take these decisions or implement these functionalities, this really is the main blocker of creating trust in the people that are using it.